You eat this every day. But what if it's silently destroying your legs? That's the question I had to ask myself years ago when a 72-year-old patient, a retired firefighter, came to me limping and frustrated. He thought he was eating clean, oatmeal, fruit, and a handful of healthy nuts every day. But after years of experience working with older adults, I knew something wasn't right. When we looked closer, we discovered the truth hiding in plain sight. That daily snack, those familiar, innocent-looking nuts, were quietly eroding his strength, inflaming his joints, and draining the muscle mass he desperately needed to stay independent. If you're over 60, every step you take depends not just on willpower, but on your choices, especially the small ones. And for millions of older adults across America, one of those small choices may be working against you. Certain nuts, which are often marketed as heart-healthy and wholesome, can actually accelerate aging in the body when you're past a certain age. They may be loaded with omega-6 that trigger chronic inflammation or compounds that interfere with medication, damage your bones, or even affect memory and coordination. And the scariest part? Most people have no idea. That's why in today's video, I'm sharing something I've never revealed in this way before: 3 nuts you must avoid immediately if you want to protect your heart, legs, and longevity. And 3 life-saving nuts you should be eating daily to strengthen your body from the inside out. So if you're someone who enjoys nuts, hit that like button right now and subscribe to this channel so you never miss a tip designed specifically for your stage of life. And when we reach the most shocking part, where one tiny nut can actually disrupt over 60% of medications commonly prescribed to seniors, drop a comment and let me know if it surprised you. This isn't about fear. It's about knowledge. The kind of knowledge that gives you back control over your body, your strength, and your future. Because what may have nourished you at 40 doesn't always serve you at 70. The older body has different needs. It reacts differently. And the foods you used to trust may no longer be safe companions. In the next few minutes, I'll guide you through each of these 6 nuts, the good, the bad, and the shocking truths behind them. We'll look at how they affect your bones, your brain, your blood flow, and most importantly, your ability to stay strong and self-sufficient. So stay with me, because the real danger isn't just what you eat, it's what you think is safe. Let's start with the first nut, one that almost every household has, but very few people realize could be slowly weakening your legs day by day. Now that you understand just how critical your daily food choices are, especially the ones you never thought twice about, let's take a closer look at the nuts that could be silently sabotaging your health. These aren't exotic, rare nuts. In fact, they're the ones you'll find in almost every kitchen, every snack aisle, and every so-called healthy trail mix. But for those of us over 60, they carry hidden risks that younger bodies may shrug off, but older bodies cannot afford to ignore. From weakening your bones and muscles to interfering with medications and increasing inflammation, these nuts can gradually chip away at the very things that keep you strong and independent: your mobility, your circulation, your balance, and your brain function. You might be thinking, but I've eaten these for years. And that's exactly why this is so important, because the damage is often slow, silent, and accumulates over time. So don't skip ahead. Each nut we're about to cover has a unique way of impacting your health, and once you understand how they work, you'll be able to make better, smarter choices. Let's begin with the most deceptive one of all, one that hides in plain sight and is probably in your pantry right now. 1. Peanuts, the silent destroyer of strength. It may be the most common snack in your home, but it could also be the most dangerous. Peanuts, often praised as affordable and protein-rich, have earned a place in countless senior diets. But after over a decade working closely with older adults, I can tell you this: what seems harmless can quietly rob you of your strength, clarity, and independence. Peanuts aren't actually true nuts, they're legumes that grow underground. And that makes them especially prone to contamination by aflatoxins, toxic compounds produced by mold. In younger years, your liver could detoxify small amounts. But after 60, the liver's resilience decreases and aflatoxins can start doing quiet damage, accelerating cellular aging, impairing immune function, and even increasing your long-term cancer risk. Still think that afternoon peanut butter snack is harmless? It gets worse. Peanuts are packed with omega-6 fatty acids, which in excess cause chronic inflammation, the root of joint pain, stiff arteries, and muscle loss. If your knees ache, your balance feels off, or you can't climb stairs like before, peanuts may be part of the problem. And if you're one of the many seniors on blood thinners, there's a hidden risk most people overlook. Peanuts contain vitamin K, which can interfere with these medications. That means each bite could reduce your protection against dangerous clots or tip you toward uncontrolled bleeding. Now let's talk peanut butter. Even if you avoid the dry-roasted kind, most commercial peanut butters are loaded with hydrogenated oils, sugar, and salt, a perfect recipe for high blood pressure, brain fog, and arterial damage. And the scariest part is that you'd never feel it happening. That's what makes peanuts the silent destroyer of strength. One handful at a time, they weaken your muscles, burden your heart, dull your mind, and shrink your freedom until one day, getting up from the couch feels like climbing a hill. I once worked with a 68-year-old man who swore by his healthy routine, daily walks, lean meals, and 2 tablespoons of peanut butter every morning. But he couldn't explain why his energy was crashing, his knees hurt more each week, and his memory wasn't what it used to be. When we cut out the peanuts and replaced them with a better alternative, which I'll reveal later, the change within 2 months was undeniable. His legs felt lighter. His focus returned. His lab numbers improved. That's the power of eating smart, not just healthy. Because what's healthy for a 30-year-old isn't always safe at 70. If you've ever trusted peanuts as a daily snack, drop a flush face in the comments below. And if you're still with me, I hope you're beginning to see that these choices matter more than we realize. But peanuts aren't the only nut hiding danger in plain sight. There's another one, creamy, buttery, and beloved by many, that may be robbing your bones of the very mineral you need most. Let's take a closer look. 2. Cashews, the calcium thief. It's creamy, tasty, and slowly stealing your bones. And no one talks about it. Cashews, with their smooth texture and rich flavor, have become a go-to snack for many seniors who are trying to eat clean. But as someone who's spent more than a decade helping older adults stay strong, mobile, and independent, I need to tell you the truth: cashews may be doing more harm than good, especially after age 60. On the surface, they seem like a healthy indulgence. They're satisfying, plant-based, and often labeled as heart-healthy. But beneath that health halo is a danger most people never consider. Cashews are loaded with oxalates, naturally occurring compounds that bind to calcium in your digestive system, preventing your body from absorbing one of the most critical minerals for bone health. And as we age, calcium absorption becomes harder already. So what does that mean? With every handful of cashews, you're potentially robbing your bones of the very strength they need to prevent fractures, falls, and long recoveries. I've seen it too many times, a senior with mysterious, bone-thinning, or slow-healing fractures only to realize their diet was silently draining their calcium day by day. But the problem doesn't stop there. Cashews are surprisingly high in carbohydrates for a nut. This means they can cause spikes in blood sugar, especially dangerous for seniors with prediabetes or diabetes, which is far more common than most people realize. Those glucose surges slowly damage the small blood vessels in your feet and legs, leading to nerve pain, poor healing, and even amputation in severe cases. I had a patient, Ms. Reynolds, age 74, who snacked on cashews every afternoon. She couldn't understand why her blood sugar was unstable even though she avoided sweets. When we removed the cashews, her levels stabilized in just a few weeks. The signs were subtle, but the damage was real. Add to that the fact that cashews increase the risk of kidney stones, another serious concern in aging adults. Those same oxalates that block calcium absorption also form crystals in the kidneys, causing pain, infection, and even permanent damage, especially if you're not drinking enough water, which is common as thirst naturally declines with age. And let's not forget something even simpler: the shape and texture of cashews. Their smooth, curved form makes them a choking hazard for seniors with dry mouth or reduced chewing strength, something few ever think about until it's too late. So while cashews might feel like a gentle, luxurious snack, they could be silently undermining your bones, your blood sugar, and your kidneys, a dangerous trifecta for anyone hoping to stay active and independent. If you've ever considered cashews a safe snack, take a moment to share this video with someone you care about. And if you've experienced bone issues or kidney stones, leave a comment below. You're not alone, and your story could help others. But this isn't the end of the list. There's one more nut to go, smaller than the rest, seemingly harmless, even elegant. But it may be the most dangerous of all, especially if you're taking medications. Let's talk about it next. 3. Pine nuts, the brain and body disruptor. This tiny nut may cancel your medication. Literally. At first glance, pine nuts seem harmless, elegant even. Sprinkled on salads, blended into gourmet pestos, they give the impression of refinement and health. But if you're over 60, and especially if you're on any kind of regular medication, this innocent-looking nut may be the one that causes the most damage. Over the years, I've worked with countless older adults who couldn't understand why their blood pressure became unstable or why their antidepressants seemed less effective. And time and again, when we investigated their diet, pine nuts came up as an unexpected disruptor. You see, pine nuts contain compounds that can interfere with more than 60% of common medications prescribed to seniors, including blood pressure meds, cholesterol-lowering statins, and antidepressants. These interactions aren't minor. They can result in sudden spikes in blood pressure, irregular heart rhythms, or even dangerous clotting. The worst part? Most doctors won't warn you about this because pine nuts aren't typically seen as a risk. But in reality, they're a pharmaceutical wildcard. And it doesn't stop with medication. There's something called pine mouth syndrome, a bizarre but real reaction that affects some people after eating pine nuts. For days or even weeks, everything you eat tastes like bitter metal. I've seen this lead to complete loss of appetite in older adults, which can be catastrophic. Because when food becomes unbearable, nutrition suffers. Muscles begin to waste, energy crashes, healing slows, and falls become more likely. That small garnish can end up costing someone their independence or worse, land them in the hospital. But perhaps the most dangerous trait of pine nuts is something you can't see or taste: oxidation. Pine nuts are high in delicate polyunsaturated fats, which oxidize quickly, especially when not stored properly. Once oxidized, they release harmful compounds into the body that inflame joints, stiffen arteries, and damage brain tissue. Over time, this contributes to slower thinking, memory decline, arthritis pain, and vision problems, things many older adults attribute to just aging, when in reality, the food they're eating is accelerating the process. I remember a 70-year-old woman who told me she loved pine nuts in her salad every day. She also had early-stage cognitive issues and increasing joint stiffness. When we eliminated the pine nuts and replaced them with brain-friendly fats, her clarity improved within a month. Coincidence? Maybe. But she didn't think so, and neither did I. And let's not forget, their small, slippery shape makes them a choking hazard, especially for those with dry mouth, which becomes more common after 60. It all adds up. Pine nuts are a triple threat, interfering with medication, dulling the brain, and destabilizing your physical health. If you've ever had strange reactions after eating nuts or you're on daily prescriptions, I urge you to take this seriously. Drop a warning in the comments if you've ever experienced weird taste changes or noticed your meds acting differently. Now that we've uncovered the 3 nuts you should never touch, let's shift gears. Because not all nuts are dangerous. In fact, a few are absolute powerhouses for aging well. Let's explore the first one that could protect your bones, boost your muscles, and keep your heart beating strong. Now that we've uncovered the nuts you should avoid, let's shift our focus to the good news, because not all nuts are harmful. In fact, some are among the most powerful tools you can use to protect your body, sharpen your mind, and maintain your independence as you age. These aren't miracle foods, but they come close. Backed by science and proven through years of experience working with older adults, the next 3 nuts we're about to explore have the potential to do something remarkable: build strength, improve circulation, support bone density, and even enhance brain function, all from the inside out. If you've ever felt like your energy is fading, your joints aren't as reliable, or your memory isn't as sharp, the right kinds of nuts can make a real difference. But it's not just about what to eat, it's also about why they work and how to add them to your routine without overdoing it. Because after 60, nutrition isn't just fuel, it's medicine. So in this next section, let me introduce you to 3 nutrient-packed nuts I recommend to nearly every senior I work with, starting with one that's small, crunchy, and surprisingly powerful for your bones and muscles. Let's take a closer look. 1. Almonds, the protector of bones and muscles. If you could eat something that builds bones after 60, would you? Most people think of milk or calcium supplements, but few realize that one of the most powerful bone and muscle defenders you can add to your daily routine is something as simple and satisfying as a handful of almonds. For over a decade, I've worked with older adults who were losing strength, balance, and mobility, often without understanding why. But time and again, I've seen how consistent, intentional nutrition, especially with the right kinds of nuts, can completely change the game. Almonds, in particular, are a powerhouse of support for aging bodies. Packed with calcium and magnesium, they provide the very minerals your bones need to stay dense and resilient. Calcium fortifies your skeletal structure, while magnesium ensures that calcium actually gets absorbed and directed to where it's needed: your hips, spine, and legs, not trapped in arteries where it can do harm. But the magic of almonds doesn't stop at the bones. They also contain high-quality plant protein and healthy fats, which are essential for maintaining lean muscle mass. After 60, muscle naturally declines, a process called sarcopenia, but almonds help slow that loss by giving your body the building blocks it needs to repair and regenerate muscle tissue. Every bite contributes to your strength, your posture, and your ability to lift, move, and stay independent. Their fiber content also supports healthy digestion, helping to reduce bloating, constipation, and the fatigue that comes from poor gut function. I had a patient, Mr. Lawson, 76 years old, who was struggling with balance and persistent leg weakness. When we added almonds to his morning oatmeal and afternoon snack, just a small handful twice a day, he reported feeling more steady, more energized, and surprisingly, more mentally focused. That's no coincidence. Almonds are also rich in vitamin E and antioxidants, especially concentrated in their thin brown skins, which fight oxidative stress, a key contributor to age-related cognitive decline. These compounds work quietly to preserve your memory, reaction time, and emotional balance. And let's not forget their role in heart health. Almonds contain monounsaturated fats that help reduce LDL cholesterol, supporting smoother blood flow and lower risk of heart disease, two critical concerns for anyone over 60. All of this makes almonds one of the rare foods that truly support both physical strength and mental clarity, a double win in the aging journey. So if you've been relying solely on supplements or dairy to protect your bones, consider adding almonds to your arsenal. Just 1 ounce a day, about 23 nuts, is enough to make a real difference. Comment strong below if almonds are going on your grocery list this week. But we're just getting started. If almonds are your bone's best friend, then the next nut we'll talk about might just be your brain's secret weapon. It looks like the human brain for a reason, and what it does inside your body is even more impressive. Let's explore it next. 2. Walnuts. The guardian of memory and movement. It looks like your brain, and it might be saving it too. That's the quiet genius of the walnut. A nut so intricately shaped it almost feels like nature left us a clue. And after working with older adults for more than a decade, I can confidently say, walnuts are one of the most powerful foods you can eat to protect both your mind and your movement as you age. While many people focus on crossword puzzles or brain games to preserve memory, few realize how much nutrition affects cognitive health. Walnuts are rich in alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid essential for maintaining the flexible, protective membranes of brain cells. As we get older, these membranes become more vulnerable to damage, which can lead to slower thinking, forgetfulness, and mood shifts. ALA nourishes those cells from within, strengthening the structure of your brain, one bite at a time. But what truly sets walnuts apart is their impressive concentration of polyphenol, a class of antioxidants that can actually cross the blood-brain barrier, something most nutrients can't do. Once inside, they help fight off oxidative stress and chronic inflammation, two key drivers of age-related cognitive decline and dementia. I once worked with a retired schoolteacher named Helen. She was 73, sharp-witted and full of stories. But lately, she said, her thoughts felt cloudy, and she had trouble recalling names. We added walnuts to her breakfast routine, just a small handful with her yogurt, and within weeks, she told me her clarity had returned. Her mind, she said, felt like it had opened a window. But the benefits of walnuts go beyond the brain. They're also rich in arginine, an amino acid that improves blood flow throughout the body, especially to your muscles and joints. Better circulation means better balance, quicker reaction times, and less risk of falls, something every older adult worries about. Walnuts even contain natural melatonin, the sleep hormone that helps regulate your internal clock. Sleep is critical to memory consolidation and physical recovery, and as we age, melatonin levels decline. A few walnuts in the evening can help support deeper, more restorative sleep without medication. And let's not overlook the emotional lift that comes from simply feeling mentally clear and physically steady. When you can trust your brain and your body to show up for you each day, life feels richer, calmer, and more connected. So if you've been struggling with memory lapses, brain fog, or balance issues, don't just blame aging. Look at what's missing from your plate. Walnuts might be small, but their impact is anything but. Drop a brain in the comments if you're ready to feed your brain the nutrients it truly deserves. Now, as we move forward, there's one final nut I want to share with you. Vibrant, cheerful in color, and quietly working behind the scenes to lower blood pressure, protect your eyes, and support mobility. Let's discover what makes this last nut so special. 3. Pistachios. The heartbeat of flexibility. This joyful green nut might be your best defense against high blood pressure and so much more. Pistachios, often seen as just a fun, crunchy snack, are actually one of the most powerful allies for seniors looking to maintain flexibility, mobility, and independence. I've worked with countless older adults who felt their legs getting heavier, their balance becoming less reliable, or their blood pressure slowly creeping up year after year. And one of the simplest, most effective changes I've seen? Adding pistachios to their daily routine. What makes pistachios so unique isn't just their taste or color. It's their incredible nutrient profile. They're loaded with potassium, a mineral that directly helps lower blood pressure by counteracting sodium's harmful effects. As we age, the body becomes more salt-sensitive, and high sodium intake can stiffen arteries, reduce circulation, and increase the risk of heart disease. But with every handful of pistachios, you're gently nudging your blood pressure back toward balance. And it doesn't end there. Pistachios are one of the only nuts that contain significant amounts of lutein and zeaxanthin, two powerful carotenoids that help protect the macula, the part of the eye responsible for central vision. Age-related macular degeneration is the leading cause of blindness in older adults. But these antioxidants work like tiny shields, preserving your ability to read, recognize faces, and move confidently without fear of falling. But pistachios also help in another surprisingly physical way: their texture. Because they require active chewing and come in a shell, they naturally slow you down and engage your jaw and hands, helping maintain oral strength and fine motor skills, two areas that tend to decline quietly with age. The act of opening each shell may seem small, but it promotes mindful eating and keeps your hand-eye coordination sharp. I remember one of my clients, Mr. Campbell, age 69, who said he didn't just enjoy pistachios, he felt more awake after eating them. Turns out he wasn't imagining it. Pistachios also contain B6 and protein, which helps stabilize blood sugar and promote sustained energy, something many seniors struggle with after meals. Emotionally, there's something uplifting about pistachios too. Their vibrant green and purple hues, playful shells, and natural sweetness create a snack that doesn't feel like health food. It feels like joy. And when healthy eating feels good, it becomes something you look forward to, not something you force. So if you're looking for a snack that protects your heart, strengthens your eyesight, supports mobility, and keeps your mood lifted, this little nut might just do it all. Add a small handful, around 30 pistachios, a few times a week, and let your body feel the difference. Comment green heart if pistachios are making their way into your routine. And now that you've learned about the three most powerful nuts for seniors, almonds, walnuts, and pistachios, it's time to pull it all together. Because the real impact doesn't come from knowing, it comes from choosing. Let's wrap this up with a message you won't want to forget. Peanuts weaken your legs. Almonds build them. Which path will you choose today? That's the question I want to leave with you, because now you've seen both sides. The silent damage that the wrong nuts can do to your body, and the incredible healing power the right ones can offer. And if you've made it this far, it means you care. You care about your health, your future, your freedom. And that, right there, is the first and most important step. You now know that peanuts, cashews, and pine nuts, while popular, carry hidden risks for older adults, interfering with medications, draining your calcium, inflaming your joints, and slowly stealing your strength and clarity. But you've also discovered that almonds, walnuts, and pistachios aren't just snacks. They're your body's allies. They protect your bones, energize your muscles, sharpen your mind, and help you move with confidence. This isn't just about food. It's about control. It's about realizing that at this stage of life, every bite matters more than ever. What you put into your body can either lift you up or slowly hold you back. And the beautiful truth is, you're still in charge. It's not too late. It's never too late. I've worked with people in their 60s, 70s, even 80s who turned their health around with small, consistent changes, starting with what they eat. And I've seen firsthand how the right information can save someone from a fall, a fracture, or a long hospital stay. That's why I make videos like this. Because you deserve to know what's helping you and what's hurting you. So if you learned something new today, if even one of these nuts surprised you, drop a comment below and type strong. Let me know which nut you're cutting out or which one you're excited to add to your routine. And if this video opened your eyes, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more honest, life-changing health advice made for you. Don't forget to turn on the bell so you never miss another tip that could protect your body, your mind, and your independence. And before you go, I want to leave you with this. You are not powerless. You are not stuck. You are not too old to get stronger, clearer, more resilient. You are one choice away from feeling better. One bite away from building strength. One day away from a body that supports the life you still want to live. So let today be the turning point. Let every nut, every meal, every decision be a quiet but powerful act of self-respect and hope. Because you're not just eating to survive, you're eating to thrive. Thank you for watching. Take care of your body, feed your strength, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep moving forward one smart choice at a time.